So Marty, this was against Aaron, and even though you were winning or you were doing good in both these online games, you said you quit them because you don't enjoy correspondence games.
Well, so this one I did quick because I didn't enjoy the correspondence experience, but I think I was only winning because of some play that neither of us saw.
Hmm.
I mean, I wasn't really winning. That's what I would say.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say you were losing either, right? Like it was still the mid game. But let's take a look, and we'll just see what we can learn from this. So for now on, you're not doing correspondence games, is that right?
No, no.
Yeah. What did you say? It draws out the pain longer, right? If you think you're losing, then
Exactly.
it's
It
like
goes on
making your
forever.
suffering for months,
This-
right?
I estimated this game was going to take another 40 days to play, exactly as long as the flood for Noah.
Funny enough, I'm playing Jory in a correspondence game, and he's beating me. It was an even game too. So
Well,
yeah, maybe I'll show you that at the end. But
okay.
yeah, I think he's gonna win. Um, all right, so white approaches. So you built the wall this way, so the most amount of territory is this way for you. So he decided to play here to break it up. That's very good. You decided to clamp his group or like approach it, and so that way this can't really do much. It's kind of a little bit chokehold. At this point, he pincered your pincer, which is usually a bad idea.
But Michael, this really surprised me, and I obviously didn't do the right thing.
And that's all right. Do you remember? I don't know why the ace here. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. So, do you remember that when there's approach on both sides of a stone and you jump, then this is a Joseki here, like a
Well, I
middle
do
game.
now.
Ah,
And then actually, I used it in my MGA game last night against someone. So
yeah, yeah. So this is a very well-known middle game Joseki, right? It's not about the corner Josekis.
right,
The
right,
middle game Joseki.
right.
I think you've seen it at
No,
least
I
a few
have, I
times,
have.
yeah.
So what ought I have done here?
So before I would use a diagonal, so that way if they attach under, then when you try and break them up, now they can't take it away from you, right? Oh, maybe I did this wrong. Hold on. It kind of leads to the same thing, but let's see. Let's so either way, yeah. No, this works. So if white plays here, then black connects, and you can see this is already killed, right?
Right, right, right,
And
right,
so now this group and this group is separated, so it's perfect, right? So
right.
this under attachment doesn't work when you have a diagonal here. Um, and then even if we go this route, I'm just curious if this is the same. It looks the same, right? Like technically he can get a ladder here,
Yeah,
and the ladder works for him. So
yeah.
I would definitely block on this side. If he plays this, then you can connect. These two are broken up. If he plays this,
So
then he can't play
yeah,
this
I
way.
remember in attack and defense, I thought the diagonal move was if you were strong.
This right here.
Yeah,
Well, it's kind of like the opposite, right? Like this is a very like this is the strongest connection you can have, right? Because they're already touching.
right,
But
right.
this is the secondary strongest you can
Okay.
have because you'll always have a connection, right? So this is like kind of the opposite. Like
Hmm.
if you're weak or if you need to keep your connection as strong as it needs to be, then this is better. Like this is the
Okay.
strongest you can
Okay.
have next to
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Because in this one, even though it's very close to the diagonal, right? They are
Right.
very
Right.
similar.
Right.
It can be broken up, right? Which happens in the game.
Yep.
Um, well, normally it happens in the game. So normally black will play on one of these sides. Instead, I think you were familiar with it, so that's why you played this instead.
Yep.
But if we played the normal Joseki, then black can come out here. And then if white keeps his connection, Then black can play this, and
Oh,
this,
Michael, I misplayed it several ways.
and then here to finish it off. So at
Hmm.
this, which is threatening
Hmm.
this cut, right? So at
Hmm.
this point, you can see that black was able to live under and under
Hmm.
scooped white.
Hmm.
White does get a lot of thickness,
Hmm.
but considering that this is pretty safe territory, and this is somewhat safe territory, you have territory in three different places, and white only has a wall that, I don't think white's going to make a lot of points in this area right now. So this is I would consider a better
Can you
thing to
just back
happen.
that up so I can see?
Yeah, it's essentially what you'll almost always see is you'll try and separate,
Yep.
you'll attack. He gets to connect over, which is
Huh?
the perk of like doing this
Yep.
pincer type thing.
Let's see. And then you extend up. I see.
Yeah, and then you
Yep.
extend this way. Oops. Well, it could have gone this way too. Um which probably would have been more normal to me, but when I looked at the AI, I liked this connection.
Okay.
And then here we go. But even if he does extend this way, you still have life here, right? This is still two eyes.
Right.
So yeah. But to avoid this altogether, what you
Right.
want is this
Right. Right.
diagonal.
Right.
So
Right.
what
Yeah.
I would have been happy with was this attachment, because when
Oh,
white hanes
yeah.
and you pull back, now you have the diagonal.
Right.
And white really
Oh,
isn't making a lot of points here.
yeah. So many things I messed up. Huh.
Uh, well, no worries. And this zone is like can't connect with B anymore,
Yep.
and so this is gonna be a problem zone. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
gonna be a
Yeah.
fight,
Yeah.
and you have the advantage of the fight, right? Because you have this wall here. So this would have been my personal choice. In the past, I used to play like this, but at least in certain games, I saw the AI do the opposite because you still get the diagonal, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, um and you're not touching the weak stone, right? A is the weak
Right.
stone that I
Right.
want to
Right. Right.
fight,
Right.
so I'm not strengthening this whatsoever. If anything, I'm just weakening it. um but to be honest with you, the computer said this was fine because of the variation we went
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
with
Which I
this.
didn't know. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could go either or. If you don't want to deal with this under attachment, then you can
Hmm.
create the diagonal this way, this way, this way, or this way. Usually I would try playing away from the stone I want to kill, so this would be my choice.
Yeah.
So that is it for this understanding of this pincer over a pincer.
Yeah. Which I.
um,
Anyway. Yeah.
yeah, so normally Aaron would play something like this and you play this.
Yep.
But he wanted to make it complicated,
Yep.
right?
Which you did.
And all right. Um, so so right now you can well, set up the Atari. And if he cuts you, obviously you can just kill these two stones. So he can't
Yeah.
cut you, which means he has to backtrack.
Yeah.
And then you could get this perfect split.
Ugh, ugh, Michael, so many ways to
Uh,
do
um, so instead you played here, which was fine. You made the net shape, which is
it.
really good. But then this is where you played the really bad move.
Ah,
And I think we do talk about this pretty much every week. And it's gonna be a thing for a long time until you really get it down. But whenever we have two Ataris, you want to read both of the Ataris. I think that was literally the name of like our last
yes,
video we
yes,
made.
yes, yes.
Which is fine, right? Like, of course, this is why we're here. We're here to reinforce what you're learning. But did you end up reading these two Ataris, or did you just play it instinctually?
I'm not. I mean, I looked at it. The other one looks terrible to me. How does
Okay.
that help?
It allows for this cut. Remember?
Okay, okay.
So yes, you do die, right? But then you get this free Atari and then this connection, and so this looks, pretty
Well,
good,
well, yeah,
right?
much better than it was. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But at least, but with this one, with you playing here, like, what did you gain, right? Like, white just got really strong.
Right. Right.
You do get this turn a little later, which is powerful. Which I maybe I would have took now because then you could have at least had some like double hane going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then this would have been okay, right?
Yep.
Like, so I
Yep.
thought maybe that's what you were setting up, right?
Yeah.
Is to
Yeah.
hit the head of the two stones, but then
Yeah.
you didn't. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe he just played this instinct then and didn't like think
Yeah.
about using
I
it at
just
all.
didn't. I just didn't read it well enough.
Yeah, yeah. So always, always, always remember when there's two Ataris to make sure to read them out both. And yes, you reading one and two would you'd be like, okay, this is gonna get killed, right? But when we look at it on the other side of its use, we're hitting the head of these two stones, which is gonna kill these if white does nothing, right? If white plays away, then these just
Right.
die. So so yeah, this I could I was like, okay, this is a big mistake, so let's write it
Yep.
down.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's a common one, right? That a lot of double digit Q players, almost all double digit Q players have trouble in. I think up to like 5Q. I feel like 5Q is like that rank where you just kind of understand all the fundamentals. You just need to like work on them. But this is a big one, so just remember. Let's see. So you did turn here, which was a nice turn. It stinks that white was able to connect here though, right?
Yep.
Because
Yep. Yep.
this group is just floating, so it
Yep.
doesn't feel very useful anymore.
Yep. And I was
Um,
very surprised by the that last move that Aaron made.
this jumper.
Yeah.
Well, I
Because,
mean, he has to fix his shape, right? But to
right.
be fair, this actually becomes a weakness later, which I'll show you.
Yeah.
What did you expect him to do this one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that. But this one is very defensive, right? I think he was like happy with his victory here,
Yeah.
so then he
Yeah.
just defended,
Yeah.
which is okay too in this case. It was fine. I know that you don't like this, so you've been playing like alternative stuff lately, which is more than fine. So now I wouldn't have found the secret here. The computer did. I'll show you it when it's relevant, but
Yeah.
there's actually a secret use for this stone that
Yes. That's why the computer thinks on the head.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's fun. Um so let's see. So yep, this is
So, all
good.
right. So, Michael, wait. This. No, that's okay. Keep going. Yes. Sorry.
Yep. So this was good.
So, is
It's the
that
last
better?
corner.
At this point, it's clear to me after the game, after I resigned, that I would have been happier with the move you hate, which is going in the middle of the left side.
Okay, what here? Like
Yeah,
here?
someplace. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, a little one
Eh.
down, I guess one lower, maybe. Yeah.
So you have a two jump here and a two jump here. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I like this more. Because once he pincered, now you get the corner. So, right now he extended this way, right? So he actually does have some potential build here. So by hitting here, then you're preventing a double wing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't want him to have two
Yeah.
extensions.
Yeah.
Um, I get this move does prevent that double wing, but I still like this move
Okay.
because
Okay.
this is a really nice corner that you get here. Um, Especially when he plays in here, which is bad because it kind of pushes you forward in the race a little. I mean,
Yeah.
technically he's ahead, but I did he has potential to like play here later. So
Yeah.
if he gets another move here, then this becomes very bad for black, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um so so yeah, like erasing this potential is bad. And when I look at the board right now, right, you have one nice corner, another nice corner, a third nice corner, and then even a, almost you have the potential of taking a full side. You're
Yes,
winning this game.
yes, I agree. I agree. So this next
Yeah.
move was important.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. And did you did you understand by you saying that, do you understand why this like feels bad or
So I mean, I understand only in retrospect, right? At the
okay.
beginning, I thought, okay, there's now I have on that on the top, I have two big gaps, right?
Yep.
So would I like to see him go into B? I would not.
Yep.
I'd like to see him go into, like N17 or M17. I would not.
Mhm.
And so I thought, well, I'll strengthen one of them. I strengthened the one closest to where he was. I
Mm.
thought it was okay. And
Uh
because, you said to me, the computer has ways of erasing a moyo. So I thought, okay, I'll find some way I'll shoulder hit him. I'll do something on the left-hand side. I won't jump in at the moment. I'll just try something else.
mhm. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And I know later on you do attach here, which we're definitely going to talk about. But with this move, and this move looks so small to me, right? Let's just compare it to this one, right? So if white plays in here now, I'm, let me find the best move. Let me think about it. Maybe even just an iron pillar or a cap, maybe. Um, it's actually pretty hard for me to find the correct move to make this hard to use, but from my own experience, I know that this is like the killer. The like now, this is a really strong move. It's very hard to break this, right?
Right.
Um, it would be something like this, and if black did this, then white can connect here. So this would be really strong. But I remember, well, I know that stops this invasion. But I'll admit, right now, I'm not finding the best move. So maybe we should just attach like normal.
Yeah.
Then we stay here. And if we bump here, maybe it'd go like this. And this is the most iconic way. Um, so with white breaking
Yeah.
this up,
Yeah.
black gets strength for the
Yeah.
middle. So maybe
Yeah.
I would play then start playing for the middle here.
So
But
what,
you can also take this corner for free.
when we talk about like how big a move is, right? I looked at that thing and said, okay, now I have like 6 spaces along the edge, right? That, in other words, that makes for, well, 10 points, maybe more.
Mhm. Okay, but yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. My advice, especially with using these stones, if you're gonna do this pullback often with this
Yeah.
B,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is definitely the key. But
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess I just need
I
more
mean,
experiment with
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But even if another way you could go about it is if you cared more about this territory, you can block here,
Yeah.
and so yeah, white's gonna have a lot of trouble here. There is a lot of cutting points,
Yeah.
but I think you're gonna be perfectly fine. Because if we look at any of the, like, if we go through the motions here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, this does get a little ugly, but you will definitely have enough liberties to kill this.
Okay.
So, we'll go back and try. We'll try. If anybody tries this against you, then
Yes.
try the attaching,
Yeah.
and then the iron pillar here.
Yeah.
And so when he comes through, he doesn't have many options to get out.
Okay.
So the key is to attach on top and then iron pillar.
Yeah.
And you could do this without the number 1 stone. But the difference is once this happens, you can't force this anymore, right? Because white's out.
Right. Right. Right.
So having this 1 extra stone here is the key to making this area safer.
I mean, in
And it's
retrospect, I see it was a terrible, I mean, it was a bad move.
yeah, yeah. It's just it's too slow and protective, and there's better ways to protect yourself while gaining even more points, right? You're
Yeah,
building the wall bigger this way.
yep.
Um, Now I don't think you don't use this move often, right? This move here.
Probably first time I've played it ever.
Yeah, and so this was like one of the main moves that we used in the 90s and 2000s, and
Yep,
probably even like, for years and years before that. Um, and so nowadays the computers don't like it as much, right? Because they can break up this area easy.
yep,
But for sure, players at your level are gonna have a hard time breaking this area up here. So anyway, my point is when we look at this move, we can see that it's not a good move. It's just too slow and too
yep,
defensive.
yep,
So
yep,
this would have been better for that area.
yep.
But now we can talk about the secret move here, which is nice because this is when the computer thought this was a good idea to play here.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'll use the computer. So essentially, it threatens to kill this,
yep,
and then when you come down, it threatens to kill this.
yep,
So then you can connect under, and
yeah,
then this becomes disconnected, and so it's not alive yet.
yep.
So this was cool. Did you see this already? You looked it
No,
up
no,
in the
no, I
computer?
didn't.
Okay, yeah. So it's because Aaron played this move
Yes,
that, and then you got this and this secret technique comes out where now like this has become way too weak, and so it has to connect, and then you can threaten here,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Which is like so cool. So
yeah.
that's
I
the
certainly, I said to Chip, I certainly didn't see it. I didn't even know to look for it. Although I should say, I knew that I could move to C,
hmm
but I thought, well, it's Aji Keshi. I should leave it for the perfect moment.
yep, yep.
Not that I saw what was going to happen, but he couldn't just do nothing.
Right, right. Yeah, yep. Because if he plays this, then he dies, right? And if he plays this, then he dies. So
Yeah,
it's really nice sleeper move here. Um, but all right, so we talked about this.
yeah,
Very small,
okay,
very slow. Um, so this attachment, I like that you are trying the shoulder hits and the attachments now,
yeah,
because this is the correct way to be thinking, right? You saw that when he played here, he was building a big Moyo,
yes,
and you didn't want that to happen,
yes.
right?
So
And
I looked, of course, this is a correspondence game. So I
yeah,
looked at the Moyo line. Should I reduce?
mhm,
I looked at the shoulder hit on the top, and I looked at the move I made,
mhm.
which
Um,
I thought was better because it was I have a stone there. There's supposed to be some Aji in the other stone. That was what I thought.
Yep, and there is. And so this is a nice combination. So if white played something like this or this, you could play down, which threatens to connect under, and then you can jump up, right? So there is some Aji here. Of course, white played this, and you played out. And when you played this is
Yeah.
fine. Like you're still okay. Like if you continued the game, there's a high chance you could have won this game as long as this group lives. I think you're leading in territory. Like this corner is bigger than this. This corner is bigger than this. This side is bigger than this potentially as long as this lives. So at this point, I think
So I have to connect, right?
well, you could play something like this to try and come out more.
Okay.
Because if white pushes through, you still have this connection. See?
Okay.
So I mean, you could connect, but it's not your only option.
Okay.
Maybe something like this,
Yeah.
and then you're out. Like he's not gonna be able to catch you.
But then I have to worry about the group on the right. So
Yes, yeah, yeah, that's true. So this was, from the beginning, this was a bad group, but ideally, it still has one eye, and
great,
so you
great.
might be okay. But yeah, you are correct. So that was mainly it.
Well,
I don't.
that was good. I mean, I learned at least three things. So
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, and of course, we can recap the most of it. It was a short game, so it's very easy to
yeah,
like learn from,
yeah,
right? So one
bad.
thing, this
Yep,
counter pincer is usually bad
yep,
because group has been left weak.
yep,
So even if you played this to weaken this group a bit, right? And he's gonna have to keep running or something, right, to live because this
right,
group is surrounded. Well,
right,
now you can invade in here,
yeah,
and he can't stop you. So
yeah,
this group becomes very vulnerable.
yeah,
So this one is if you're specifically trying to attack this group
yeah,
because it makes white stronger on this side by touching the stone, but it gives you the diagonal you need now to attack this, right?
yeah, yeah,
So it depends on which area you want to attack. I think
yeah,
both attacks are perfectly fine.
yeah,
Essentially, you just need to make some strength, and then even if he like builds up on this side, well, now you can start attacking this one, right? So keeping your opponent split and then fighting both of them will usually leads to one of them dying, right? So if there's two weak groups, then you can hopefully kill one, and if not, you can manipulate both of them to be small and insignificant. But in this case, remember with the counter pincer with this, one stone,
yeah,
jumping out does offer this
right, right, right,
middle game Joseki.
right.
So my other really important thing I see all the time is,
Uh,
to read both Ataris. A lot of people just play Ataris to play Ataris, and then they don't think about like what they're
but I just
used for.
couldn't see that the other way would kill
Yeah, and it remember it
or
doesn't
threaten,
actually
threaten,
kill, right? But
threaten.
it can if white messes up, then it'll kill. But even if white succeeds in killing this, like the result for black is too good, right? This is like
Right,
really, really good.
right, right.
Um, so yes, that was the other thing, the main important thing. Um, you were worried about this, but you jumping in the corner here. These stones are both flat, and so later on you'll be able to shoulder hit them and attach, and
Yep,
so
yep,
you have a lot of options against these being low. So this is why, to me, I was like, okay, this is great, right? You get to jump in the corner, you take a full corner, and now he has a very open cup, which could be
yep,
dangerous, right? It
yep,
could become something bad,
yep,
but you have many options in order to you know break this area up.
yep.
So this was I wouldn't
Really
try
awful.
this again, right? So
Yep,
instead, you want to do this, and as you can see, this is where white wanted to play to build his wall
yep,
bigger.
yep, yep,
So this does two things, right? It strengthens you and limits his
yep.
group, and it builds you up higher. So it's like it's doing a lot with just this one jump here. Um, and that was it. I mean,
Okay.
the last thing was is if you were enjoying the game, I wouldn't have given up because you still you're I think you're leading in points, especially because you still have this invasion here.
Yep, yep.
Um, I don't know if you are comfortable with this, but it just works. This just is a living group here.
Yes. I
Whenever
mean, I
you
know that it can be invaded.
yeah, when you can hook under like this, then you can make eyes, right? Because white can't stop you from making two eyes in here. All right, we'll move on to the next game. So let's see. Thank you. Um, let's just start. So I used this in my game against Hugh, and Dwyron, said it was kind of interesting. Like all I can say is I know Inseong did not like it,
Yeah,
but I still have fun playing this. I think I've mentioned this in our other
yeah,
reviews.
yeah, yeah,
But I just I do think it's kind of a fun opening because you see how everybody reacts to it. Um, the computers I think that they should play here, and then they should play here, and then I don't know. It was I have no clue. I haven't searched enough in it to be honest. But this is just wrong.
I know, but okay, but I didn't. I mean, obviously, I really misplayed this. I didn't know what to do.
You did the correct thing, right? So right now, he armpit hit you, right? And
Yeah.
so this is bad because he's behind in the race, right? You're ahead. But the thing was, is or just what you saw, was once you have this advantage of hitting him on the head of two stones, then this is the advantage you want to take.
Right away. I thought you're supposed to. Oh, okay. I'm looking at it the other way around from the. If I had invaded. Okay.
Yeah, so the reason is because we can read this cut. So I won't do it for you. Go
Yeah.
ahead and try. What if white played here right now? What would you do?
Uh, I guess I would Atari and then go on the bottom. I'm not. Yes, I would. I'd Atari him on the top and then I'd make the hit him on the head of two stones in the bottom.
Which Atari? S or
Uh,
R?
I'm gonna go with R, and then I would hit him on the head of two stones at the bottom. Maybe no. Let's do that. No, then he'll Atari me. Uh,
So yeah, just calm down and
okay.
read the liberties, right? So he's got three liberties.
Yes.
So
I have four.
you
I guess so. I will
you got
fix my own defect. I
you got
guess.
two ways to attack. You're playing this one.
Yeah.
If you play this one,
Yeah.
then it's three liberties for black and three liberties for white. So white wins.
Okay.
So I'll just
Bet.
show it to you now.
Okay.
But we need to, I know this is obviously on the spot and on pressure, but what we got to look at here is, white has three liberties, black has three liberties. It's black's turn, so black should win this fight, right? You take away his liberty, he's only got
Yeah.
two. You take away his liberty, he's only got two. You have three, so you're gonna win this fight, right?
Yes. Great. Okay.
There's absolutely nothing that he could do to kill you,
Yep. Yep.
because that's it. So, some of it comes from experience, others is from reading, but you got to understand that when you can get in front of your opponent, then you want to get in front of your opponent. And in order to know if you can do this, you have to read, well, if he cuts here, can I kill him? And the answer is yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, so this was the mistake by playing here.
I
And
see.
I think the computer, was it was pretty upset. It was like a -3 is a big mistake, right? So we wanted the A, right? And so, you know,
Yeah.
it would go something like, it would just that's really it. Um so you did hit him on the head after, which is better than playing this one, right? So that's
Yeah.
really good. This was great. This is good. This was terrible shape for him, so he's just in a bad position.
Yeah.
And you're in a great position. Instead, I wanted you to play here,
Yeah.
but when I read the
Okay.
cut, it's different now because actually it's still the same. You can just kill him.
Okay.
You're playing here. You can see that you're hanging over his head, right,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
limiting his
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah.
So this would have been much more effective.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the cut, you don't have to worry about the cut. You got to read
Right.
that though.
Yeah.
So in this case, you protected the cut, scared that white would play here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, all in all, we just need to make sure to get your fighting ability and reading up, right? We need to
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
how important it is to get in front of your opponent.
Yeah.
Um, but still, this was still an amazing result for black right now. Black got an extreme amount of points, and white has a wall facing a black stone, meaning that there's not a lot of points here for white. So every move here, wasted. Just complete waste of time for white. So black got an amazing result, and it's all because of this really bad armpit hit.
Right.
So
Yeah,
right now,
I didn't feel bad yet.
okay, good. You should feel extremely good right now, to be honest. So good. This one is okay, but it's the riskier one. I just want you to understand
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because right now you're facing a pretty strong physician. Like, yes, positionally, it's not making a lot of points, making it bad, but it is still pretty tough. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
this is like challenging these groups right now.
Yep.
This move would have been just a little more easier. So you could poke like here and then come out here. And then you can see there's just lots of weaknesses for white,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So this would have been a
Okay.
very safe way to play. Like you
Okay.
can easily make eyes and like, you'll handle this area.
I
This is
see.
the more I'm gonna separate you and kill you. Is
Yep.
that how you were thinking?
I thought the word submissive came to my mind, and I thought, what the hell?
Well, this is the submissive way, yeah, and
Right.
this is the aggressive way.
Right.
But yes. Um so I just wanted you to point that out, like that this is much more of like kind of a dangerous plan, but it's fine. Once again, he screwed up, so now you are able to hit him on the head. But funny enough, unlike the other position where you extended, this time
Mhm.
you haned, which I think is funny because this is very dangerous now because
Gotcha.
white's so strong here, right? You
Right.
can see that like
Right.
this is
Right.
gonna be
Right.
kind of
Right.
scary for
Right.
black.
Right.
Um,
Bad
so
idea. Okay.
so it was really funny to me that like when you were safe to like do this and because
Yeah.
of the walls helping you,
Right.
you
Right.
didn't do it, right? But then when you were in danger, you did it. So it was pretty funny. So just like the last time, the computer was upset, right? Like it was like, what's going
No,
on
we're
here?
not. Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't that bad actually. It was at point 0, but if it was playing at perfect computer level, it would have played A.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was at point 0.03. So that technically it's not a mistake, but still for me definitely I would have been like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
strong, so I need to
Yeah.
be more careful.
Yeah.
Um but white didn't touch, and so this allowed you to get a really good position. Once again, white is in a terrible position. This was fine. I was wondering if you should have played here, but this gives you Gote.
Right.
So I like that you picked the Sente one, and then he blocked. And then this was perfect. This was like the chef kiss. Like I was like, this is amazing, right? Because he built all this wall, right, and then you just took away any potential that he could make any points here. So even he could live, he could die, right? But most likely he'll live, but there'll be no points, right? It's
Right.
like
Right.
once again a totally wasted group for no reason whatsoever to be playing. Um, so did you feel how good this move
Yeah.
was? Like when you
Yeah.
played it? Nice,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, and then we got to the bad move. So,
Yeah.
so um, right now these two stones are really strong. They're not gonna die,
Yeah.
and so uh, what the computer wants, and well, I can see why, is that it just wants you to play a big move now, right? We know the
Okay.
orders of operations, right? If we're not in danger, and then we can't really make a good attack, then we'll try and find the biggest move. In
Yes.
this case, we can set up a new attack, right? Because this group still doesn't have two eyes.
Yep.
And then the other way we could look at it is to make the biggest move, which
Yes.
you can see this move is ginormous, right? Like this
Right.
is
Right.
this is I'm gonna
Okay.
win the game type of
Okay.
move.
Okay.
So in this case, because white's most likely gonna live here, so it's very strong, and you're
Yeah.
gonna be perfectly fine. Then
Suppose he
you
comes under. I don't do anything. So he goes another move.
yeah. So let's say he plays this or this, right?
Yeah.
Then you can just make a two space. Or you can come down if you really want to protect the corner, but I think it would be more beneficial to come out on this side.
Okay. Okay.
Because even if he takes the corner, then you can take another big move, right?
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I do understand the plight, right? Like you want to save your corner. But it just feels like you're playing on the second line, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it feels like an endgame move. So
Okay.
instead, when you can get this really nice peep, because if he plays under now, you'll just kill him, right?
Yep.
He's just dead. So this peep is like more of Sente, like more apparent,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
more um, appropriate. And then this move here is just so grand, right? Like points
Yep.
wise and like
Yep.
pressing him down
Yep.
that you know, this is why it's like you know, the computer cares so
Yes.
much about it.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Some small things. You do want to keep this connection.
Yeah.
So you, I think white could have just broken up and killed you
Yep.
now,
Yep. Yep.
right? Like this would have been pretty sure it would be dead.
I'm pretty sure.
Um, even if he allowed you to get this one eye, right? It's still not going to be two
Yep.
eyes, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
um, so just pulling back here would have been nice. Instead you played an empty triangle, so just remember we want to try and avoid those empty triangles, right?
Yes.
Because this is bad shape.
Yeah.
It leads to like a lot of aji, and there's like two cutting points,
Yeah.
right? And so playing something like this would be much more beneficial. So that's just a shape thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which actually it didn't happen, right? Like I think you just died here, right?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, so this is a much more appropriate shape. Whenever you feel like you want to make a empty triangle,
Don't.
think of the one jump first.
Okay.
Well, not first, obviously think of it second, right? Because you thought of this first, but consider doing the one jump and seeing if it works appropriately, which it does. Um, Other than that, you still could have actually just killed these three stones.
No, don't
Yeah.
tell me that, Michael.
Yeah. Very similar to what we saw with these cuts, right? Where you just push down and kill.
But suppose he puts me in Atari in the corner, C19 there. Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Same here, right? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
even here, right?
Oh, that makes me sad. Okay.
Yeah. So yep. So when you played here, this was not correct, right? If you
Right.
just played this, he would only had two liberties,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he'll die.
Yep.
He'll die.
Mm. Mm.
Um. So yeah, losing this was bigger than what it looked. You built a big wall this way, so my next move would have been to play this. It not only helps you get a bigger area, but it helps you build a base for this group, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
yes, this group has one eye, but if white gets like a strong group, you know, here or something,
Yep.
then you know, you might not be able to get two
Yep.
eyes, right?
Yep.
And even
Yep.
if you can, then white can just take everything that you built. It's
Yep.
kind of like what I was saying with these groups, right? Like, yes, he's building a wall, but it's useless because, you know, white's, you know, black's here. So same thing, you built the wall, but it could have become useless. So anyway, you protected this cutting point. You actually didn't have to. So let's do some reading exercises. If white plays here, what can you do?
Oh, yes. So I could Atari him, and then I can catch him in a net.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, yep, yep. There's a way out of the net, I suppose. So let me. Originally, I thought you could just net him, but I suppose with this Atari, you could technically get out, but not really. You have to look further.
Oh, maybe not.
You gotta find the wrap up Tetsuji.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah, a little deep reading, 15 moves, but you know, with time and technique, you'll get it. But yeah, no. So, in this case, yeah, the net would have been worked here. Um, so that means you don't have to protect this. And when you do feel you have to protect it, you can
Mm.
always look for something like a little further away, right?
Yep. Yep.
But like something like this would protect it,
Yep.
right? And it's getting you just a little more points, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
in this case, the computer really wanted you to play this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It had a real turn on for this move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I can see why, right? Because it's like limiting white's eye potential
Right.
and making
Right.
you bigger. So,
Right.
so this was very slow.
Yep.
And so instead, you know, I was looking at moves like this and this and this, right? But
Yeah.
this is more important to me just because of how
Yeah.
you've built something here, so you want
Yep.
to build it
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Same thing. Computer wanted you to play here. It also didn't mind this one, excuse me. This is fine, and then the normal move I'm used to is this one. So
I
this
see.
is what I was taught,
Yep,
because you can see that the connection is here and
yep,
fine, so
yep, yep.
everything's good.
Hmm.
And then what the computer said was this was even better. It's to me, it's essentially the same thing, but it's just helping this group more because you're
Yes,
getting closer.
yes, yes.
So either one of these would have been good, but this one is bad because even if you didn't, if you played here, like when white Ataris, are you in any danger?
No.
Right. If anything, it's like a thank you
That,
move.
that's even I should have read that. That's not that hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, connecting here is bad.
Yeah.
And so playing something like this is pretty normal. And then if the computer really liked this move, which I've never seen anybody play it, but I can see why it makes sense. You're just
Yep.
getting closer to your weakness.
Yep.
So very cool. Um, so I was taught not to do these Ataris if you're not going to use them.
Yeah.
But the computer loved it. It was like, this is the right move. I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. What I was taught was to play this because if white doesn't fix, then let's say, well, then you can Atari and make a
Right.
ladder,
Right.
right?
Right. 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 Right.
And then later on in the game, maybe you'll want to take this Atari for some reason, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so, what I was taught was to always read both Ataris and leave them if you don't find a good move for either, right? But the computer really liked this, so I won't complain about it. What happens next is what I was taught, right, to set up this ladder.
Yep. Yep.
Because the stone is like dead, right, and so you see that you have a weakness on both sides, right? You
Yep.
have a weakness
Yep.
here at
Yep.
A, and you have a
Yep.
weakness
Yep.
here at B, and so you guarded A, but then you lost B. So it's like
Yep.
you just gave up two stones for no reason, right? Um, so both of these stones just die. Um, but that's why I was taught to do this, because then there's just no sacrifice at all,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
But if you want to keep playing these, I'll keep learning myself about it. So I do know that, like, yes, it helps like create a weakness hitting the head of two stones here. So I can see the appeal of it. But you definitely don't want to run out this stone after you use its Atari. If anything,
Okay.
you'd
Okay.
want to
Okay.
use it
Okay.
like this, right?
Okay. Yep. Yep. Yep.
You use it as a sacrifice.
Yep.
Because it's pinced up against this writ of strength, so it's a trash stone, right? It's only used
Yes.
for
Yes.
sacrificial
Yes. Yes.
reasons.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um, so same thing, like me, I would have played here, just to threaten the double Atari, right?
Yep.
Because if white messes up, then here's the double Atari.
Yes.
If white plays away, same thing, double Atari, and then yeah. So I just would have played this and would have been fine with the results. But the computer also liked this a lot, and this to me was like the same idea, right, as this one. So I was like kind of surprised, but it's fine. So this time you did use it as a sacrifice stone, which was perfect, right? Um, at this point in time, um, the computer thought this area was too big, and that makes complete sense because
Yes.
this is humongous, right? And
Yes.
so it found a place where you can make a two space base on both sides, making it a great invasion. So
Yes.
that's it.
Although this looks like an exercise in a book where they go, "This invasion is too deep."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean it definitely is very, very deep, but yeah, having the two space base is like great, you know what I mean? So on both sides, so it's a really nice invasion. Um
So this, I so misplayed. This killed me, literally.
yeah. Every move for both of you guys was like in the red, right? When I was looking at the thing. This isn't my, my biggest strength here, but what I would have said was, golden rule of attachment. And then if he jumps out, like that's okay, because one, you have all the strength, but two, you could get even stronger, right? Because if he jumps out again and you get this Atari, and then you play something like maybe something, maybe not. I suppose maybe there isn't something there, but it sure felt like it.
Yeah, I was
Um,
very, I mean, I know that I was very, I thought I was going to be able to kill him by keeping him in. I didn't realize that I should let him go, could let him go.
yeah, yeah, this would be pretty painful if it's pretty painful.
Yeah.
So maybe this was fine, but yeah, I think you would have been perfectly fine. I do see why you played here, but this is wrong to me.
Yes, clearly. Yeah.
Because if he takes it, then you're fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so he didn't gain anything because this isn't a real eye.
Yeah.
Um, so if you just played this, I think you would have been fine. Because all your groups are very strong, and he can't make two eyes.
Yeah.
So I think this was like the big missing link here. And it fends back to my first instinct, right? Like he touched you, so I need to get stronger.
Right. 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 Right.
Um, but yeah, once he got this move, now it's starting to become a little iffy. Technically, he still looks like he's dead to me. Um, so what did happen? I looked at it, but I forgot.
There.
Oh,
There.
yes,
That's
yes.
that's what
Okay.
happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yep. So yeah, you would have been fine. He would have been dead.
Yeah.
You just missed this. You made a silly mistake, and that
Yeah.
was the end of
So,
it.
Michael, let me ask you something. When you play in person, do people still go Atari?
No, 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 no.
We used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no. I don't think I've ever seen that. I see it when people are teaching other people, like especially children or something. But no, I've never, especially in serious like, 'cause I've been in a lot of AGA tournaments. I've never heard anybody like say
I mean,
Atari.
I'm not talking about AGA tournaments. I'm saying like at the Mass Go Club, people would.
Just casual. Yeah, and I don't even see that then. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a. Sorry, Marty. I always forget where you're from. Which state are you from?
New Jersey.
Yeah, it must be a Jersey thing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which is very kind of you, I guess, because you're alerting your opponent, like, you know what I mean, that like there's
Right.
a
Right.
weakness.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, I usually only hear that or see that when like people are teaching like
Yeah.
either weaker players or like not even like only with kids. I usually only see that with children, like to help them.
Yeah.
But okay.
So, and I don't know, Michael, this is like the only game I ever put out on OGS, right? And I said handicap automatic,
Uh huh.
but it didn't. Do you know? I mean, what did
I
I do wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would always set it to manual. Cuz I don't know myself. Like I don't mess around. Like if I know like in the Osaka League, they specifically say, "Okay,
Right,
take two
right, right,
handicap."
right.
So then I specifically set that to handicap. I never put it to automatic.
Okay,
I think automatic I have no clue. It just doesn't seem to work apparently if that's the
okay.
case. Cuz you should have got what, 2 stones, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Plus, I'm never doing that again. It's clear you get lunatics to play you.
Are you talking about automatic or are you talking about
Well, just
correspondence?
saying, like offering a game for total strangers. I can wait until someone else does it, I suppose.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, let us continue. Is your brain busted? You need a bathroom break or anything?
No, I'm good so far. How about you?
Fine, fine. Usually I don't like doing like 3 reviews because I can feel like my students like brain drain. But maybe because these were shorter
Yeah,
games,
the
you
two
you
first two
seem
were
to be
short. This
fine.
is the only. Oh, and Chip said maybe I should stop playing the 3 4 points Do you think that has anything to do with my losses?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think that. I think they're perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have been losing, but like, it seems to be over a lot of trivial stuff, right? Like in this game, I don't think you were losing. You just stopped because you weren't having
Right,
fun.
right.
In this game, you did well here. You did mess up big time in the corner here.
Yeah,
Um, and then this was just a very like I think you just here's the two Ataris, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then you
yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah,
read the
yeah,
two
yeah.
Ataris.
I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't see that the other one was in trouble. That was it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was the two Atari thing, but yeah, you have an Atari on both sides and you read the
Yeah,
right one, right? And
yeah.
so it's a fatal flaw that you seem to run into often in your games, right? Is not reading the two
Well,
Ataris.
this is a real one. The other one, you have to be able to read 8 moves in a row.
Yeah, but so in this case, I wouldn't say you were losing this game. White does have some of a lead for taking this and this being so big,
Yep.
but at the same time, you have a very strong black group.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
If that's alive, it's fine. Right.
yeah, yep, that's exactly right. You'll be more than fine. So like this would be, well, I'd probably play this, but so this would be, obviously devastating to white, and if you can keep this, then you win. So in both your games, I wouldn't say you're just losing definitively. Like this was definitely just a silly mistake here.
Right. Right.
Um, all right, so it's up to you. I mean, if you like learning the 3/4s, then keep playing them. If you like learning the 4/4s, try them out. But it's all how you feel. So funny enough, I think you guys were playing like AI Perfect for quite a while.
Oh, this one. Okay.
It
On the
was
right,
up to here.
I tried something new.
Yep. Yeah,
Uh,
and this is real cutting edge stuff.
but
I was
but
very surprised.
I think you're supposed to so make a move for him. I'm supposed to jump
Okay.
uh,
The,
the one space jump, but the computer didn't seem to mind where I played.
yeah, either or is like fine. This is more for speediness, and like if he plays somewhere else, then you get this nice tiger mouth.
Right, right.
This one is very similar. So let's see if you jump and then black plays here, you should play this, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
so when we look at the order, same thing. So that's why it doesn't mind this.
But why wouldn't someone push into the
This one,
go there?
they can. It's just that you're going for more um, thickness on one direction or the other.
Okay.
So if I guess if you're trying to build this, then you would attach here, and then you can see you can connect, but it doesn't look like the best move. This one I like a lot because it's projecting this
Yep,
way and this
yep,
way,
yep,
this way, and then when he tries to take this stone, you just give it up. It's a sacrifice stone.
yep. Okay, great.
Um, so it depends. If you want a thicker wall, then you would play this. If you want a wall with a little weakness, then you can go this route.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I jump myself, just out of habit more than anything now, because this feels a little slower. But in reality, they're very similar.
Okay.
Um, so very cool. This is very cutting edge stuff, mind you. So you're really, really trying to avoid this, huh? So you try and build the cool stuff. So very still, I liked it. I was like, oh, this is pretty modern. Like this is
Yeah, Chip made a comment like, "Oh my God, where are we?"
that's hilarious. So this was good. It's good. Everything was good until we got to this move here. So without reading the side, what is this move doing, and when and why should we use it?
I thought it was Joseki.
Okay. Too much reliance on Joseki then. So forget that it's Joseki then, and let me
No,
ask you, what is this doing?
Well, you would say it was building a wall, but there's
Yes.
nothing to build there. So,
Yes, 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 yes. That's exactly
but
right.
I don't want him to push on it.
So, when you play here,
Yeah.
you almost practically have two eyes. It's very difficult to kill this group. And it's
Yes.
very simple, right? And even for myself, I like simple, right? So, show you real quick. So now we are at the simple, right? And so B is simple.
He is simple. Okay.
And
Oh,
that's all
okay.
we
All
need
right.
to know.
All right. Okay.
Like
Okay.
um so for you, if you're worried about him pushing up, which
Yeah.
he does, that's the next move.
Yeah.
You can learn these lines. This is a little complicated. This is very easy.
Okay.
And this is even easier, even though it's not on the board.
Okay.
So the idea, if we look at it in your game,
Yeah.
so bop, bop, and bop. Does this look bad for you right now?
No.
Does this look bad for you? It looks a little funky, I'll be honest
No.
with you.
No.
Even if we just played very subtly like this, does this look
No.
bad for you, right?
No. Okay.
Yeah, so it's very, very
Okay. All
simple.
right. All right.
So if you ever want to make things very simple, I do this more than I do this.
All right.
But yes, you understand that this move is building a wall. And
Yeah.
you also understood that this isn't a good idea because black's already here.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so you get you have a comprehension of what your moves are developing and doing. So don't always rely on Joseki. If you feel there's something like if you comprehend that this is bad, right, to build a wall this way,
Yeah. Yeah.
then just try and find something else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but so for now on, feel free to try these,
Okay.
and
Okay.
if he builds up, then you can just play something over here to
No.
break it.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So this was bad. This was worse, of course, because now it you're just it's
Right. I
kind of
see.
just helping black. So
Yes, I see.
instead, we could have taken this corner.
Yes. Yes.
We could have blocked him in, and
Yes.
so even if he has to live here, it's gonna be like a pathetic life,
Yes.
and then you can build really nice.
Yeah.
Um, or we could have played this really nice extension too, and you could see that this would be a
Yes.
nice combination.
Yes.
So this was just wrong, right? Because you're building a wall that's facing black.
I
That's
get
not
it
good.
now.
Yeah. Always retrospective, right? Like one day you'll it'll be in the game.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, yeah, and you'll start winning every game you play, and you're all like, I just get it now, and you'll jump up a few ranks, and it's great. I'm telling you, it's gonna click. But this was actually turned out to be good for you. I can't exactly tell you why. I think it's because this move was bad. I think Chip's
Should have gone up. Yeah. Could have.
yeah. I think Chip should go up to save this stone, right? This is a cutting stone.
Right.
So saving this cutting stone would have been good. But by playing here, he just got hit on the head of two stones,
Yeah.
which is bad. Like really, really bad. So this became great for you. You did play a bad move. So have you ever heard of the bamboo cutter?
Yeah. 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 I thought it was forcing, really, honestly.
Yeah, so this move helps him fix, and then you're weak, right? You only
Yes.
have two
Yeah.
liberties. So
Yeah.
this is what
No, I mean, I know it.
yeah, yeah. This is a thank you move, right? And these are the worst moves whenever I'm reviewing your games. Like
Yeah.
this and floating moves, right? These are like
Yeah.
the worst
Yeah.
moves. So just this is a good lesson, right? For you not to do this again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the shape is this one.
Yep.
Because if he has to play here anyway, you're ahead in the race now.
Yep.
And you got more liberties, right? You have three
Yes.
liberties.
This
So
I could have known.
yeah. And then in this one you only have two and you help them. So definitely playing the bamboo cutter is a Tetsuji for a reason, right? It's a
Right.
technique, it's
Right.
the vital point.
Right.
Because if he plays anywhere else, then you just kill him.
Yep.
So it's a very nice technique. And even when he plays this, he should still feel bad, right? Like this should still feel bad. Um, technically he can get out, but like this is still giving you nice shape for the middle. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, so that was bad. Um, this feels bad, but you're still in an okay situation. Um, he definitely should have jumped or come out or something. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but like this group, is the wrong direction because
Yep.
now you can play this or this to cut him, and this would have been really nice because you
Yes.
can clearly see that while he has to run with this group, then he's gonna either die or just get destroyed. Like here, like even if this lives, like you taking all this territory is like a
Yeah.
huge improvement.
Yeah.
And if he plays on this side, then you're gonna get more of an advantage attacking this, which is just amazing. So this was such a important find that you needed to find. I don't think you do in
No,
the
I don't.
game,
I
but
don't. I don't.
yeah, finding that like did this feel weak for you? Like
Yeah, it
it
did.
looks,
It did.
yeah, it's very weak, right? And you're very strong, and so the 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 idea of splitting them should start to come to you. I know, this stuff I told you I didn't learn until I was 7Q. So don't feel bad that you don't have a grasp on it yet. But I'm going to keep trying to instill this in you because this is what helped me jump from 7Q to 3Q.
Yes.
Like very, very quickly. Once I read the attack and defense book, I was like, I get it now. And then, like, I just became much stronger. So yeah, the A to B is very weak
Yes.
when you split them up.
Yes.
So yeah, you defended, which is fine. This was bad. So this is just more powerful
So I thought if I did that, he was just going to leap out.
over here.
Yeah.
But then once you take this, like, does this group look strong here?
No, it looks dead.
Yeah, yeah, right. It
Now
looks
that
very
you,
weak.
yeah. Well, this is a problem where I don't really, I focus only on my groups, not enough on the other person's.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, it's a good start, right? In the orders of operations, it's literally the first start, right? You want to look at your groups and see if you're weak or strong, right?
Yep.
And so that is the first thing you should do. But when you feel that like your opponent is weak, then you can, and especially if you attack them and you get stronger for it, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's doing two things at once.
Right.
It's like
Right. Right.
attacking and
Right.
fixing.
Right.
So
Right.
the orders go: you look at your own weaknesses, and then you look at your opponent's weak.
Yeah.
But in this case, even though they're just two stones, like they're not weak, right? Because you have so much running potential.
Right. But I thought they were weak. I thought they needed to be strengthened. That was that's why I did that.
Yeah, yeah. No, yep. And so that's why we'll try and change that thinking, right? When you have a lot of places to run,
Yeah.
then you're not weak, even if you don't have eyes.
Right.
So in this case, yeah, I mean we went over it, like why this was bad. Um, so this was fine. I would have played it here first because this makes this stone very
Yes.
weak, right? And
Yes.
so he has
Yes.
to respond,
Yeah.
and then you can get both, right? You can get your cake and you can
Right.
eat it too.
Right. Right.
In this instance, when you play here, if he plays this, then this feels bad, right? You don't want to make an empty triangle,
Yes.
so you
Yes.
play this move, just
Yep.
like in the other game.
Yep. Yep.
And then he just got a little bit more, right,
Yep.
territory,
Yep.
because this is such an important space. So
Right.
hitting here would have been nice.
No.
This is so yeah, this is the vital point of the shape, right? When we have this
Right.
shape here.
Right.
So
Right.
this is very common where you'll attach, and a lot of times you'll pull back. But if you push forward, then know that this weakness is here, and so
Right.
this would be
Right.
the fix for that weakness.
Right. Right.
So if you do want to go forward, then just when you get the chance, you want to fix this.
Okay.
Very important shape. You'll see it all the time because I'm sure you see these attachments all the time, right?
Yes.
I just want you to understand the shape points. Because shape points and direction of play are my like two specialties. These are the things that I can really, really imprint on like you guys as my students and get you a lot stronger. So this wasn't the best way, right? Like if you played this or this, these would have been nice splitting. But since he answered, which is good for you, then you could have comboed it.
Yep. Yep.
Which would have been really nice. But you played here, which is awful, because because you know how I talk about the
Yeah.
Romeo
Yeah. Yeah.
Juliet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know this is bad shape.
Yeah.
Um, so like giving him the opportunity to do that to you is just awful, right? Even though this does technically also do the Romeo, the
Yeah.
thing is you have alternative motives, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you have good
You
motives
know,
too.
Michael, if during a game I ever get to make that line of stones that you make about in virtually every review, I'll feel happy.
It's gonna happen one day. You're just gonna remember, like all the scoldings, right? All the shame and and then it's just gonna click, and you'll get. Trust me, you'll get it. You're working hard. I mean, you
I am,
play
that's for
good
sure.
games. You get lots of reviews.
Oh,
Don't
hang
worry,
on
you
one
can take
second.
that. Yeah,
Uh,
no worries.
hey, love, can you call mom? All right, love you. Bye. All right, Michael.
All right, I think we're getting close to the end here,
Okay.
but yeah. So this was really really bad.
Yes.
And then and then heck,
This was
yeah,
the
yep,
loss. Yeah,
yep,
this was
yep.
awful. This was a misread. I told Chip this is where I worry about myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so the shape teaching you shape again. This is the table
And
shape.
I know this.
Yeah. I can hear it in you. You know, you like I know you know it, right? But yeah, so this is the table shape. So even if he Atari'd you, you can give up the stone and
Yeah,
you still get the nice
yeah,
split, right? Now
yeah,
you can kill these stones.
yeah,
Um so yeah, this was the shape point here. Same if he plays this, right? You get to make another table, right?
yeah.
Or this, whichever you prefer, I guess. But I think I like this one better. But anyway, so yeah, you played away, right? Golden attachment rule, right? He attached to you, you lost the liberty. You should respond in some manner. At first, I thought this would be a good response, but I don't like how this looks, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's why I was like, okay, well, here's
yeah,
the table
yeah,
shape that
yeah.
works. Um, but yeah, it was definitely painful. This isn't right now. So this is only like worth 2 points, maybe four, but it's very slow right now. So I think you were worried about these getting disconnected, but even if black played here, you can do the under attachment technique
Right,
or the over
right,
attachment
right.
technique, one of the others, and I think it would be fine. So, um, this move did feel wasted. When he played here, my first instinct is to play this immediately because it creates a double Atari
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
And he should respond, and then he should respond. And so you got a really nice move here, and you even get extra moves, right?
Yes.
Um, maybe not. Maybe because if you respond, then you die, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
still, this is like a nice like two stone and like made him into a poopy shape and
yeah,
um in its sente. So I was looking at the clamp too. The clamp looks promising, but it is very dangerous. So I didn't think it was worth it. So definitely, this would have been nice. Oops. Because it's just Sente, right? You just
right,
get a good
right,
shape in Sente,
right,
and then you can
right,
play somewhere else.
right.
So I think you missed the rule of attachment maybe 3 times out of these reviews so far. Very important rule. That's why I called it the golden rule, right? I call it the golden rule of attachment. So just remember that when somebody attaches to you, you want to at least read out like the effects of
Okay.
it. And most of the time, answering it will give you Sente. So. So this wasn't good in comparison to this. You did get it, which was great. And then this is what you and Chip were talking about in the chat, right? It was
Right,
how
right.
weak this is. So this is the
Well, both
end.
of us missed the fact that I could kill it.
Yeah, yep. This was the end thing, right? Like this is the last thing that would have changed the game for you
Yep,
to be a
yep,
ultimate
yep,
win or a ultimate
yep,
loss, right?
yeah.
So just by playing like here and then here, you can see that this is the bulky 5 shape.
Oh, yes.
If you play here and then probably here still and then here, it's the same, it leads the same bulky 5 shape, right?
Yeah.
This one's the unsettled 3. Um, and then this one I didn't look at. I saw the computer said this was all right. I saw these two, right? Because this is it's very obvious. And same with this. This is like
Oh.
I shouldn't say obvious, right? Because I obviously
So that's the thing, it looked so open to me
yeah.
that I didn't even, I was saying this to Chip, I don't even know, and I might have been able to find it, but I'd have to really look carefully. I
Mm.
have to know, well, when is the time for me to pay attention?
So the key and like even if you can't do this reading, right? Like to find the life and death of it, the key is to um continue the fight, right? So the key is to keep attacking from the outside,
Yeah,
and eventually they're gonna either just live, right? Somehow they'll live, um, or you're gonna put them in this situation where the James Davies life and death book training comes in,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
like
yeah,
you'll see
yeah,
the
yeah,
pyramid or the bulky 5 or the
yeah,
unsettled
yeah, yeah,
3.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
That's good.
the
I see it.
key that should help you in this is that when it's very small like this, you just keep up the fight and see what position you can get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, I do. I do.
Yeah, so the first step is always to surround the outside first. A lot of the times people will make the mistake of playing like the inside move and then they can't finish it, right? They
Yeah.
they want it's not good enough now, right? They ruined it. So even myself, I've been caught by my teacher, where it's like you played the inside move first, but you needed to play the outside move first to
Yes.
set it up. So you know, a good fundamental is to surround on the outside first, and then you'll find the way, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And even if you don't, somehow, let's say this lived, even though it doesn't live, but let's say it did,
Yeah.
you've cramped them down to like two spaces, right? And so
Yeah.
you did a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
job, and then you
Yeah.
move on.
Yes.
So that's hopefully will help you.
Okay. That's good. That's
Because you
good.
yeah you question like when you should keep continuing. My advice is that if they look very small, which in this case they do, then just keep the fight and see where it goes. Okay. So there was some stuff. Like instead of here, I might have tried this to like see if I could break these up. Um, the computer said there's some attachments here, but they look pretty hard to use. Same with like something like this. This could lead to ko. I think if you play like this. Um, so that could have, you could have taken this corner if you were feeling, comfortable with the ko.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if you weren't comfortable with the ko, it's just a good piece of advice because, this could win or lose the game for you, right? If you
Right.
already feel
Right.
like you're losing, then go
Right.
ahead and try
Right.
something,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, when this lives that's when there's no chance of coming back.
Yep.
So as soon as he got this move here, that's when the game was over, and
Yeah.
he was up by like 20 points.
Yeah.
Um, all in all, I mean, there was some great moments. Definitely some good learning here. Um, this was cool, very modern. Um, we now know like even if this feels like a good move, you can still do this, right? And just
Yes.
keep things
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about him playing up because you can just break the area a bit. You can even go all the way here, but it gets pretty advanced. I have trouble with it. I lost one of my games because of it, but I did learn from it. Maybe I didn't. I already forgot it. But if you want to make things simple, then just play here, here, here. Then
Well,
keep the
my bedtime reading is Fuseki Revolution.
yeah. Oh, that's cool. I really should get back into reading it. I have it right next to my desk too. It makes
I mean,
good videos too, because people like the old school way, right? It's what we grew up on,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then they also
Wait,
like
he
the
makes
interesting.
videos?
No, no, no. I made a video.
Oh, yes, yes.
Like
Sorry.
I used the book and made the
Yes.
Chinese opening and the
Yeah,
San
yeah,
Say opening, remember?
yeah.
Yeah, so all right, just to finish the recap, you know,
Bad.
yep,
Oh,
we know this
well,
shape. We
it's
know
like
the
a
bamboo cutter. Yep.
it's
And
like it's like a headache to watch it again. Okay.
this was an important lesson, but it's fine. We know that the Romeo Juliet split is awful,
Ah,
right? So
yeah, yeah.
this
Um,
even this would have
yes.
been a lot nicer.
Oh, oh, bad.
Um, and then the other shape was this one, right? So the
Right,
golden rule of attachment,
right,
we can make a nice table shape,
right.
and then that is really it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a lot today, but I think it was a good lesson.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Michael.